Now today we're going to be doing a couple of rapid fire reviews for you. Should take probably about a half hour, so well, let's get cracking into it. And well, where else should we start? And with the Rancor, pretty recent review we did, and now this is just a rapid fire round. We got a lot to review here. Quite a lot. Take a look at all of this Star Wars goodness we are going to be reviewing in today's video. You're going to see it all here live. Now, the Rancor, one of my personal favorite Star Wars items. Now, guys, the Rancor, he is a pretty amazing toy. So, guys, his arm moves. His wrist moves. You can even put his arm up like that, or up like that. Not really too well with this one, though, because the elastics did unfortunately break. So, well, how do we fix it? Well, with a good old zip tie. Nothing a good old-fashioned zip tie can't fix. Anyways, his legs do move. Because I kind of have to hold the camera here, but legs move like that. And the leg also moves like that. So, I'm going to stand up again. Now the thing everybody likes to see with the Rancor, there's a little trigger at the back of his mouth that moves his mouth just like this. Now we can put a Gamorrean guard in there, so you can kind of see how this is working, but just like that, you can feed the Rancor a Gamorrean guard. That's really it for the Rancor. Let's flip him around to show you the amazing detail on the back of him. Now that is a pretty good toy. Now, what toy should we review next? Guess we don't even got anyone watching, so, well, how about let's do the Tauntaun. Of course, our live streams do get lots of views after we do the live stream. Nobody really joins in during the live stream. We'll get a couple of viewers. The most I've ever got on a live stream was 2 viewers, and that's pretty great. For this channel, at least, I would like to get at least a couple of them watching. The Tauntaun works pretty much like the Rancor. The mouth doesn't move. It's a really great toy. Of course, you can see the white paint on the bottom of it. Now, if you look really closely, the designer actually did etch his name into the Tauntaun. Kind of see it there. Not really well, but we got Luke Skywalker in it. The arms move, and you can move the legs. Just like that, and like that. Now, I love the Tauntaun. It's a great toy. It's definitely worthy of having in my collection. Really do like it. It's a perfect display piece for Hoth. And, he does have his reins. Let's look around back. That's what it looks like in the back. That's really it for the Tauntaun. Now, guys, we are going to be moving on to another toy. That is the Power Droid. The Power Droid, move him a little closer to the microphone so that you can hear the legs go click. Oh, that is the Power Droid. It's a great toy. I love that. It's one of the better action figures. Even if it does slip your list, you need a Power Droid in your collection. It's one of my favorite figures. How can you have a Star Wars collection without a Power Droid? Anyways, let's do a bigger toy now. how about the A-Wing? Now, the A-Wing is a great toy. I do not have the A-Wing pilot. However, it still is a great toy. You know, you slide the little lever on the top hatch forward. Have to kind of do it with both hands, but so the lever, just slide it forward. I'll slide it back and it goes. Now there's a button on the bottom, or a little lever. It moves the landing gear in. So we just push up. And there they go. It's pretty cool. Now, there's a button on the bottom. Can't really hear that good from here, so we'll move it a little closer. And it does have the classic Kenner electronics. Well, the A-Wing, the guns, do make a clicking sound. It's a really great toy. Now, the A-Wing, one of the favorites of my collection. I love the A-Wing. It's probably my favorite Rebel fighter craft. Now, the Y-Wing, yeah, that takes second. The X-Wing's iconic. Not my favorite, though, because, while X-Wings did destroy both Death Stars, the Y-Wing, it comes with a bomb, and you can put a droid in the back of the Y-Wing. If you could put a droid in the back of the X-Wing, it would be a pretty cool toy. I mean, but the Y-Wing, it's just overall a great toy. The Y-Wing, don't have it in my collection. The B-Wing, let's be honest, if you could only have one Rebel fighter craft, who would pick the B-Wing? I mean, yeah, the wings fold out. Yeah, it makes a cool noise, but the A-Wing, it has two guns. It's basically the Rebels, what they did. It's just two engines and a cockpit and some laser guns. Really not a lot to it. Now, the A-Wing, I don't know why. My favorite scene in Return of the Jedi is that scene where, well, from the Death Star battle, not in all of Return of the Jedi, because there are some better scenes than this one, but one of my favorites is when the A-Wing is just coming barreling in through space, and bam, it just hits the Star Destroyer. I just love that scene. And that's just one of the reasons why I love the A-Wing. And if we flip the A-Wing around, you can just see those engines on the back of there. And yeah, I guess it just looks so much like a fighter jet, really. And I guess that's kind of why I like it, because it's fast, and it really did do a lot. Now, the B-Wing, you know, the B-Wing it was just kind of there. It didn't really do anything yet. Blew up a couple TIE interceptors. You know, it just did not really benefit the Rebels a whole lot. So this A-Wing's gonna fly out. It's gotta go blow up another Death Star. I'm sure Disney's probably manufacturing one as we speak. Anyways, let's head down to the forest moon of Endor with the speeder bike. How can you not love the speeder bike? The Rebels used it. The Empire used it. Well, the Rebels kind of stole it. But, I mean, hey, the Rebels know how to operate. The Rebels know how to operate it better. I mean, when Luke and Leia are flying them, they don't crash. Well, arguably. But when the Scout Troopers flying it, you know, trying to fire that lower laser cannon, and BAM! Hits a tree. And the speeder bike blows up. However, the Empire does not have an endless supply of these. So that is why they made the speeder bike rebuildable. So the way you're going to rebuild this. And hey, we have one viewer. We have one viewer. It's pretty big for this channel. I know it may not seem like a lot being we have 165 subscribers. But it is pretty great to know that somebody is enjoying this live stream. Now he just rebuilt his speeder bike. And he's got to take off, so the speed flaps are open. He's cruising through the forest, and then bang, he hits a tree, and he crashes, and, well, he can just rebuild it over and over and over again. Now, the speeder bike, it was a really cheap toy. I mean, kids could buy this with their pocket change, and that is what made this such a great toy, because the affordability was really good, and kids, well, they could just buy mass numbers of these toys. Now, if you like the stuff you've seen in this video so far, if you like anything in this background, this amazing Star Wars background that we have behind us, well, behind the studio, well, you're going to love this channel. If you have not already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. And, well, let's continue our rapid fire review. Well, we've only got a couple more items that I want to review. However, I can pull a couple more items out. But let's go with Jabba the Hutt. Now, Jabba, it's a pretty great toy. Is it a big action figure? If you're saying this is an action figure, then it's the most expensive action figure in the whole line. But is it a pack of figures? Or is it a playset? I don't know. Because Jabba, yes, he's a character. No, it did not come on a card back, but the Max Rebo band, we consider all of those action figures. I do not see how this is not an action figure. I mean, his arms move, just like this. His tail moves. It's kind of finicky doing it with one hand, but his head moves. He has his hookah pipe, so we can just kind of put that there. And he comes with Salacious Crumb. Now, if we take Jabba off of the throne, we dethrone Jabba. By turning these, you can see the amazing dungeon. However, for trying to make a Rancor battle, unfortunately, it is a little bit too undersized for the Rancor. But it really is just a nice throne to put Jabba on. And so that he can smoke his hookah, and Salacious Crumb can laugh at all of Jabba's interrogations and sending people down to the dungeon. Now, if you guys remember, it's been a minute since I've done this review. So it was one of my first reviews I've done. Now this rapid fire review, it's bringing back a lot, because that Tauntaun, that was the first video we ever did on that channel. It has not ever reappeared on this channel since day one, and bringing it back 3 years in the making. It's been an honor every single minute. And, well, the X-Wing fighter, I can still remember when I got this toy. I mean, it's such a great... It's the white X-Wing, and the cool part about this white X-Wing is, if you know the white X-Wing, the wings almost never work. Well, on this example, the wings do work. And I mean, this is just a stellar toy. And then, of course, we can use this little lever and the wings pull down. Now, the only reason why this is not my top Rebel fighter craft is, well, yes, it's a cool toy. Yes, the A-wing is a little bit better, but the Y-wing only takes the second place because you can put a droid in it, and the Y-wing, I mean, the Y-wing, if it was released in 1978 alongside the X-wing, although it probably wouldn't have been, probably been a 1979 toy. But they just didn't release it, and it's Return of... At least we got the Y-wing. I love the Y-wing. It's a great toy. It appeared in all 3 original Star Wars movies. And I mean, it's a bomber. It may be slow, but I mean, just flying that over your stormtroopers when they're on a planet somewhere in the Star Wars galaxy, when the stormtroopers see that thing coming, oh, they know that it is over for them. Because while it may be slow, it sure can wipe out an entire army. Now, of course, you all want to hear the electronics. Now, this motor, I did put some WD-40 in it, so it does run much better than the A-Wings motor. And I mean, I just simply have not had time to take apart all of these Star Wars vehicles to put the WD-40 in the motors. So we're going to have to make do with this one. And it just runs immaculate. If you're trying to get a motor to work on an original Kenner Star Wars toy, WD-40, just put a little bit of that in the motor, and it runs really great after, I promise you. In that original X-Wing review video, well, the motor really didn't run all that well. But now, after the WD-40, watch how great this thing runs. I mean, take a look at that. We'll move the mic in a little bit closer. I know you guys can hear that, even with the mic at a distance, because that motor is just so loud. And I mean, it's just a really, truly great toy. While it's not my favorite Star Wars fighter craft, it's better than the B-Wing. I mean, the B-Wing, it does have its perks, you know. The wings are great on it, but the X-Wing has been there. It's Luke Skywalker's fighter craft. I mean, but you can make the argument that Luke Skywalker did also fly a Y-Wing. Because if you've seen the Star Wars Holiday Special cartoon segment, now that is the best part out of the Star Wars Holiday Special. I know Han Solo does not look great, and the characters do not look great, but it is the first appearance of Boba Fett, and how can you not like that? Boba Fett over there in the corner with the 3-pack backdrop. Now, that backdrop is one of the rarest Star Wars items I own, because I'm very fortunate to have that backdrop. And the only other backdrop I've seen sell is the Cantina Band. I do want all 4 of them, but, well, maybe another 10 years before I am fortunate enough to come across another one. A different one, because there are 4, so I will be very lucky to have all 4 of them. Anyways, let's move on from the X-Wing. We have done quite a bit of reviewing. So, guys, I mean, you said, well, your old toys, that's quite a collection there. Now let's review a mini rig. This is... I always get the mini rig names mixed up, but we've got the AT-AT commander here, and he will be demonstrating how this works for us. So the AT-AT commander, he's sitting in it. There's a little turret for him to man. And this, you get full 360 degree rotation on this. And it is really, truly pretty good. Then you just push down on the wheels. And it does roll. And then you can just have it spring up. Oh, this is a pretty great toy. And the mini rigs line, if you don't know the history behind these were meant to be because of the oil crisis in the 70s where, I mean, oil was really expensive in America. And with the rising cost of oil, and if you do know this, plastic is a petroleum-based product, so you need oil to make plastic. And now, larger vehicles like the Millennium Falcon only went up in cost. Now, because you could afford an X-Wing after a couple weeks of doing chores and stuff and allowance. But the X-Wing, unfortunately, because of this oil crisis, they had to raise prices on some of the items. Now, they did not want to leave kids behind. So, they made it so the X-Wing would be, a Christmas gift or something. And then, well, in today's dollars, the X-Wing was about $30. Now, back then it retailed for about $10, I think. And anyways, it was probably about $5. So this would be about $20 in 2025 currency. Now, yes, I do know that we are very close to 2026, but we are still in 2025. So we are going by $2025. The world money is, I don't think it will be getting, that there will be a whole lot of inflation 2025. And so in $2025, this would retail for probably about $20. And just the fact that you could buy vehicles with pocket change. That was a real selling point. But a much cooler item that you could buy with pocket change, the tripod laser cannon. And now, if you were a kid into Star Wars, you absolutely had to have this toy. Everything about this just screams, wow, this is cool. And it was a part of the mini rigs line. However, there are several mini rigs, such as the tripod laser cannon, the radar laser cannon, and I think those were the only, and vehicle maintenance energizer. They should have just done a separate line of action figure accessories, because these are not just your average mini rigs. Oh no, these were in the movie, screen used, and the tripod laser cannon. How can you get any cooler than this? Everything about this just screams, oh, if the rebels see this come out onto the battlefield, they better start waving their white flags, because they know they are just about to get annihilated. It's literally a movable cannon. You have the ammunition box attached to a hose. You can adjust the height, and it swivels, and it makes a clicking sound. Now, bringing this into your Star Wars playtime, the only thing that could combat this, and in The Mandalorian, we saw this thing in full action. It is a machine gun. How can you get any cooler than this? Well, at the Battle of Hoth, while this was there, the rebels did have something that could take down the Empire's most fierce and feared thing. If it was a ground battle, the Empire was losing, it would say, well, we have a pretty much indestructible thing, and that was the AT-AT. Now, the rebels, what the Empire did not realize was that the AT-AT was on legs. Now, what did the rebels do? Well, the rebels were just maybe a little bit smarter than the Empire, so they used their harpoons and tow cables to trip up the AT-ATs. And, well, what vehicle are we talking about? None other than the Rebel Armored Snow Speeder. Now, this toy is a great toy, and I recently completed mine. This was one of my first Star Wars items. I mean, now, take a look at, how can you not love this toy? It has machine guns, 2 of them on the front, and they light up. And, I mean, the lights aren't working. I don't think I have batteries in this. Yeah, I took the batteries out, but they do work. And, well, the harpoon, I do not want to unravel this, but it is there. I took the batteries out so I could hang it up, but if you press this button, it just goes ba 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 ba, and I mean, and it just flashes lights. It's so great. I mean, how can you not love this toy? And if we're going to take a look at my Hoth display, which I will show you at the end of this live stream, you are going to see where this snowspeeder proudly sits in the display. However, before we pan over to the Hoth display, I do have one more amazing Star Wars item to show everybody here today. And, well, yes, it was at the Battle of Hoth, and, well, yes, I do know that it was more prominently featured in Return of the Jedi. And I have to turn the camera off because it is just a little hard to get to. It's just on the other side of this pile of amazing Star Wars toys that I have for all of you. And, well, that is none other than the AT-ST. Now, here we go. It's setting up. Now, how can you not love the AT-ST? Now, of course, yes, the Ewoks could figure out over 1,000,000 ways to combat the AT-ST. And while, yes, the Ewoks, we don't really like them, but nobody in the 80s was saying, oh, the Ewoks, I don't like them. But here it is, the AT-ST. Now, it did annihilate a lot of Ewoks. However, the Ewoks are probably annihilated more of these. And, I mean, take a look at this. Kids in the 80s would have loved to have this toy. It has an armored chest plate, and its head swivels, just like that. And if we move around back, we can unlock the legs, and it can march along. Just like it did in Return of the Jedi. Now, either way you look at it, well, how can we review the AT-ST without the AT-ST driver? So we open up the top hatch here, and then we can put in the AT-ST driver, and he can man the top turret. Now, the AT-ST driver is actually an action